It's time for Rabbi Minkowitz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowitz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parshas Chukas. The question of the week is, are irrational commandments important? So in this week's Torah portion, actually named Chukas, which means a statue, which means basically, we know that mitzvot, you have Eidus, Mishpatim, and Chukim. Mishpatim are laws that are rational. Eidus are testimonials of something that happened to the Jewish people, like we celebrate Passover because we went out of Egypt. And Chukim are the commandments that are irrational, like the whole laws of this week's Torah portion of purity and impurity, which are beyond rationale. So the Rebbe asks a very simple question. The logical mitzvot obviously make sense. The ones that we do as a testimony, they're testimony for something that's great. But what's the whole idea of the irrational commandments? So the Rebbe explains a very powerful insight, and he says as follows. Ultimately, every single mitzvah, even the ones that are rational, even the ones that are testimonial, and more importantly, obviously, the ones that are irrational, ultimately, the essence of all the mitzvahs are, they're God's will. In Hebrew, it's called, it's Ratzon Hashem, it's the will of Hashem. The will of Hashem is not about details, and it's not about the rational part, and it's not about the testimonial part. The will of Hashem means it's the will of Hashem. And therefore, either you're doing the will of Hashem, or you're not doing the will of Hashem. And that's basically the essence of every mitzvah. So really, in every mitzvah, you have an irrational component, but more importantly, the irrational component is the connection. Because why do we do the mitzvot? Why do we study Torah, do any mitzvot? Is because God commanded us. So we're doing the will of Hashem, which is basically an irrational connection to God. So therefore, when a person does what we call maybe a small mitzvah, a big mitzvah, a beautifying a mitzvah, the truth is, from an irrational perspective, they're all the same, because it's all an opportunity to connect to God. So to answer the question, how should you observe the irrational mitzvot? The way you observe any mitzvah, and more importantly, through the irrational commandments, that's the way you connect to God on the deepest level, because you're doing the will of Hashem. This week's Torah lesson is in memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated for the Torah that we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information on Chabad, please see our website.